and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That'll be fun.
I'm gonna worry.
Bypass me for a second. I don't get this. And then tell us.
Welcome to the Moines County Supervisors Meeting, November the 4th, 2025. Short reminder, don't forget to go vote today. Meet with department heads and elected officials. Brandon, how's the IT department?
Just keeping busy, nothing to report.
Okay. Sarah?
Good morning. It's election day, so it's a busy day for us. So just working on getting that stuff organized and seeing how the precincts are going and trucking along.
Okay,
Nothing really new to report.
thank you. Brooke, how's Veterans Fair?
Good. I attended fall school a couple weeks ago, and then I had emailed the board the GDX report information. I got a response from Tom. So that was released in October. Usually it's like May or June, so it was really late this year. Some of the information on that was since 2021, Des Moines County has lost 136 veterans. On average, veterans are receiving $11,985 per year, which is up $3,254 from the $8,731 in 2021 for total expenditures. There was an increase of $7,952,461 in total expenditures from 2021 to 24. That's with 136 less veterans in the county. There was a decrease in the education spending of $89,871 and an increase in medical care of $3,372,285. An increase of $3,088,387 in compensation and pension money, and that's all federal money coming into the county, not county dollars being spent on veterans. That's all I've got.
Okay, thanks, Brooke.
Thank you.
Brad, how's the sheriff's office?
Good. The sheriff's out on a little vacation right now, so,
Doesn't have a gun in his hand sitting on a tree to.
well, maybe. A bow anyway, but, so I'll get at sheriff's office. Been busy. The jail is, I think we got 17 out of county now, so it's, busy. Besides that, nothing new.
Okay, thank you. Krista, how's the public health?
Good morning. We're keeping busy. We just wrapped up the school immunization audits and we're starting in the daycare audits at this time. We're still giving flu and COVID shots, but that's all I have.
Krista, I got a question for you. An older person takes, they get an extra dose of the flu shot, and how comes they can go to the pharmacy and get it, but we can't go to public health and get it?
So there's just, the high dose is for people 65 and older, and it has to do because as we get older, our immune system doesn't react as much, and so they get a higher dose of this. We just don't get enough call for it. We usually have to order those things in the, 20, 40 increments, and so then we have that going away. So a lot of people just go to the pharmacies because they get a lot more traffic than we do, and then we have the regular flu shots, which again, a lot of people do the regular flu shot instead of the high dose, even if they are 65 and older, so.
Okay, well, I just had somebody ask me, so now I got an answer for it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jared, how's the region plan?
Land use is doing okay, keeping busy as usual. We got one item on the agenda today and probably have at least one or possibly two minor subdivisions ready for next week. But apart from that, nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. Chris, how's the conservation?
Good. Just getting things winterized and stuff. Well, it's still super nice out. I'll note that the holidays are coming and there's a good chance that folks have like in-laws coming to town and you'd rather not have them stay at your house. We happen to have this cabin back in the woods that you can put them So we're even offering a $50 discount for anybody that books here November, December through the holidays. And even if, you know, you've got, the place is pretty large, that kitchen area is pretty big. So if you got an extended family and you want to just not dirty up your own house, you can come up there. We've got the kitchen, all the appliances and everything. So, you know, and if you give us a call, we'll even put a Christmas tree in it for you if you want to. So, I just want to get that plug in there to reserve Ranger cabin that's open all year round.
What kind of heat you got in there?
It is a forced air gas furnace. It's
Oh.
warm and toasty, just like that.
Don't have to chop wood, so that's good.
No, we do have a really great fire pit in the back. We had an Eagle Scout build this beautiful patio, this stamped concrete patio in the backyard there. It's super awesome. So when you get, you know, warm fall weather like this, go out there and have yourself a bonfire, ride firewood.
Thanks, Chris.
You bet.
Janelle, how's the treasurer's office?
Good one. We're keeping busy. We did print almost 1,300 November delinquent notices, so those should be hitting the mailbox soon. But other than that, I just have an agenda item.
Okay, thank you. Natalie, recorder's office.
Good morning. We're keeping busy as well. Just another reminder that ATVs, snowmobiles, off-highway vehicles, those will expire December 31st. So you can start renewing those either in the office or online. Otherwise, we're just keeping busy.
Okay, thank you. Angie, Safety Department.
Good morning. We're just keeping busy. We ordered 6 new AEDs, so a lot of the departments have gotten either new or have gotten AEDs. I will apologize, I may have to sneak out. I got a demo at 10 o'clock. There's a lot of new technology, so now the AEDs will actually talk to your phone and tell you what's going on with them, if they're being used, if the battery's running low. So I'm going through this demo, so I can learn it well enough to explain it to everybody else. But that's kind of my plan. So if I speak out early on you guys, it's not because I don't care. I just have to go to a meeting.
Okay, thank you. Rodney, how's the maintenance department?
Good morning, really busy. Yesterday we had the annual sprinkler inspection at Cottonwood and Crisis Center. They did some 3-year and 5-year testing. This Thursday and Friday, the county attorney's office kind of deferred, at least I believe she's going to be closing that down. We got a project there, they're going to line the sewer line there on Thursday. We kind of set aside 2 days, hoping it only takes 1 on Thursday, but set aside Friday as well for that. And then this weekend, we're going to be working on a big project in the treasurer's office. Get that drop ceiling put in, so that'll kind of probably flow over into Monday. So everybody will have to kind of, there is a mess, excuse the mess and be patient with the staff there, but treasurer's office will be open on Monday and then try to finish up on Tuesday with that. We had a DNR inspection at the lagoon last week, so that all went well. So we got the report on that. I can forward it to you guys this week. Other than that, just a lot going on this week. It's really busy, busy time of the year. Other than that, nothing else new to report.
Okay, thank you. Lisa, how's the attorney's office?
We're gonna be good for the first 3 days of the week. Just piggyback off of Rodney, our building will be closed Thursday and Friday. Basically, we're gonna move the staff over to the courthouse. We're gonna have some staff working in our second floor office. The clerk's office was gracious enough to give us the second floor courtroom since it's not going to be being used Thursday and Friday. And Sarah, I saw her email that if we have stragglers that we still need to have someplace, we're gonna use the Board of Supervisors room. Gonna work with Brandon to get laptops set up for those who don't have them. We did have a couple people who were just like, great time for me to take vacation. So we had a couple, one that was actually out anyway those 2 days, and then we had a couple that we gave them the choice. They could either do this or they could take vacation, and a couple took me up on it. So yeah, it's going to be an inconvenient Thursday and Friday for us, but luckily with our data management system being on the cloud, it's not like it was before where we were tethered to a computer. It's just we have some staff that don't have laptops, so we're going to see how we can configure everybody over here for at least a couple of days, and so it should be fun. We'll all get up close and personal with each other. The hard part will be everyone is used to having their own office where they can shut their door. Now they're going to have someone working next to them. So we're trying to keep personalities that will go well together as well. We did safe trick or treat, Friday night. It was at the port this year. It was really, really great. The weather was luckily really nice. But yeah, it was a different location, but I think I actually kind of preferred it over the auditorium. But that was really, really fun. Otherwise, we're just keeping really, really busy. So after the first of the year is going to be insanity for our office, because in 3 months, we are going to have 3 murder trials. Each scheduled for 2 weeks each. And on top of that, we will have our 5 regularly scheduled district court trials anyway. And then obviously having our misdemeanor trials. There's some changes going on with the courts downstairs and associate court, so that'll present some different challenges and different things. But yeah, then we're getting prepared for what January, February, and March, and early April are going to look like. And they're going to be ugly for our office. But luckily, we'll be able to get those 3 homicides tried and get those off of our dockets, because they're all. Harper is the oldest, and that's coming up on a year old. And then Rios was the one on Christmas Day, and then Bounds is the newest one, and that was still March. So they're all pretty old cases, so we're looking forward to getting them off the books.
We're looking forward to getting them out of the jail.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa. Mr. Carter, now secondary roads.
Good morning. I think I can safely echo the busy from everybody else. A couple things coming up. First, I'll jump into Highway 61 stuff, because that's a theme of a couple of these. One, it's a little bit earlier, but there's another one of the public input meetings coming up for kind of the Highway 61/Roosevelt corridor. There was one a little while ago, and there's one coming up here on the 12th. So that'll probably be out there for people to come back and give any other comments or look at other scenarios for that corridor. That's part of that agreement you guys signed. It's more of a community push on that. I did meet with the DOT on a number of topics, one of which was the transfer of the sections of Old Highway north of Burlington that's been in the works for a long while. Right now they're leaning towards, even though they're almost ready to do the full right-of-way transfer, they're leaning towards just doing a snow removal agreement with us. We were figuring on taking over snow removal this winter as it was. So they may end up doing a snow removal agreement with us, which would bring some sort of small payment with it. And then that way they don't have to put a big rush on here before the snow flies to get the full things transferred and make sure everything gets done right. So you may see an agreement land on an agenda at some point. But that's kind of the timing of that. So, and then I met with Mediapolis last night, or I shouldn't say I met, but I've been helping the city of Mediapolis and the council kind of figure out speed limit stuff for the area of the interchange / Old Highway 61 and all that. So I will have a resolution for you guys to approve some speed limit stuff on Mediapolis Road outside of the city limits sometime in the next couple weeks. And then we'll start looking at getting some signs ordered. And what you're gonna see essentially is right at the interchange, it'll go down to 45, and then once you get in further into city limits, it'll go down to 25. So that's the plan there. They are also in the works with the DOT to take the intersection of Old 61 and Mediapolis Road to a 4-way stop. That may be temporary, but it has to go to a 4-way stop before they can consider removing the existing stop signs and allowing traffic to flow straight through town without a stop sign there. So because it's still a state highway, there's some rules that have to be followed there. So if it's on pace, which they were gonna check with the DOT, somewhere around Thanksgiving, that change may happen and go to a 4-way stop, and then it's gotta sit that way for at least a couple weeks. I wasn't sure what the time frame was. So some possible changes up there coming. So folks that are in that area, pay attention to that kind of stuff. We do have a couple closures coming up on gravel roads that are a bit more than normal, I guess, so we'll do press releases, and both of them are in locations where they'll impact a very kind of an isolated small group of people, and most residents will never know they got done, but one's on a dead end road, and we mentioned it last week, Terry brought it up, so we're gearing up for that. That was hopefully gonna be next week, but we'll keep residents appraised of that, and that way they're aware of what's going on. That should only be a 2-hour closure, and then we should be able to get it back open to 1 lane while we do the rest of the project. The others in the bottoms, if you know where the Big Ditch Bridge is, but in the northeast bottoms, there's a very deep culvert up there. We have hired a contractor to install concrete pipes across that road. It was a deal that we couldn't walk away from. So was supposed to start this week. Sounds like maybe they're aiming towards next week now. So, and that's probably a week-long closure, which again, we'll do a press release. We're down in that area, the locals know about it, and with harvest done, it might mess up the anhydrous guys, but really it'll be relatively minimal in the overall impact, especially with Highway 61 or Highway 99 being open and that bridge no longer being posted that we replaced. So, yeah, even though we're in November and I had the first sleet on my windshield Saturday, we're gonna just keep on rolling like it's summer because we have plenty of stuff that needs to get done.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
Yep.
I don't think I missed anybody. Okay, we shall move on. Correspondence. You don't have any correspondence?
I have not.
I received one, but I can't pull it up on my, they wanted it read too, and I can't pull it up on my computer, it froze.
You gotta pull it up and come back. Okay, discussion and vote. Accounts payable claims in the amount of $279,773.55. $9,241.22 wire transfer. Total, $289,014.77.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Sarah?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Okay, now we have the second reading for the 2025-056, or the number 34, to change the facial zoning map. Sorry, got on the wrong line there. This is the amendment to the zoning ordinance number 34. You want me to read this?
I can just give a quick summary of it. So it's
Yeah.
basically
Summary.
we initially had the first reading last week. This is property 6 acres off of Tama Road, just outside Burlington city limits. In fact, there was a portion of that was recently de-annexed from the city. It's the smaller portion, so now that it's all under county jurisdiction, this has been discussed by the zoning commission back earlier this year. They recommended approval of rezoning from ag to industrial, specifically for storage yard for construction equipment, which is already present, but in order to ensure compliance going forward, it would need to be zoned industrial. So I don't have anything else to add. I haven't received any additional comments about it since the last time.
I have not received any in the auditor's office either.
I don't receive anything else either.
Motion to approve the amendment and waive the third hearing. Second.
Sarah?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Now we have resolution 2025-056. Whereas the Moines County Board of Supervisors approves 2 appointments to the Southeast Iowa Airport Zoning Commission and 2 appointments to the Southeast Iowa Airport Board of Adjustments. Whereas Charlie E. Walsh and Mary Baird have expressed interest in serving on each of the Airport Zoning Commission and Airport Board of Adjustments to fill the positions allowed by the appointed Des Moines County. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors hereby appoints Charlie Walsh to the Airport Zoning Commission with a 2-year term to expire December 31st, 2027, and the Airport Board of Adjustments with a 2-year term to expire December 31st, 2027. And further be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors hereby appoints Mary Baird to the Airport Zoning Commission with a 4-year term to expire December 31st, 2029, and the Airport Board of Adjustments with a 4-year term to expire December 31st, 2029.
Motion approved.
Second.
Thanks to both volunteers.
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
They've both been real good on that board. Now we have approval of the weed commissioner report here.
So,
What kind of weed is this?
all different kinds, yeah. We're not selective here. So our weed commissioner is Jeff Chase, that's the county weed commissioner. He's also superintendent, so there's no reason for him to be here because there's plenty of work for him to be doing. This is a standard annual report that we do. The board has to approve it because actually the Code of Iowa has the board, makes the board responsible for this type of stuff. So actually the weed commissioner part of it is not something that Jeff gets paid for. We just kind of the involuntary weed commissioner on behalf of the board of supervisors. So the report, I'm happy to run a copy of it. It basically calls out different kinds of weeds that were found, thistle, and there's 3 kinds of thistle, shatter cane, some others, teasel, that kind of stuff. So it's a mandatory report. We do this every single year. I'm happy to run a copy for anybody or the media that wants it, but otherwise I'd recommend approval and we'll get it sent back to the state.
Motion to approve the weed commissioner's report. Second.
Sarah?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Thank you.
And thank him.
Will do.
The public is not unaware that the board of supervisors are responsible for those weeds to an extent. I get calls.
Yep. It just passes on to us, and some stuff we can get dealt with, and some stuff is just neighbors unhappy with neighbors, so we kind of sift through those. There aren't a whole lot that come through in the course of the year.
We have a approval of the weed commissioner certificate. The weed commissioner contact information, Jeff Chase, 13522 Washington Road, West Burlington, Iowa.
Motion to approve. Second.
Sarah?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Thank you.
Tell Jeff thank you too. Okay, we have personnel action. We have one for the auditor's office. Elaine Lutenegger, payroll deputy, auditor's office. 6-month step increase. Okay, 62% deputy. Previous rate, $51,576.74. New rate's $56,101.02.
Motion to approve. Second.
Sarah?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes.
My, agenda doesn't match this. I saw the payroll report on the email. It doesn't have at least my agenda does not have a payroll actions on it. Is it just me? Mine? Can I see it?
Oh, I'm working for the packet. What's in the packet?
No, I'm not, I saw the packet when it was emailed, but I don't see it on the, agenda.
For the accounts payable claim?
No. These are personnel actions.
Oh, the personnel actions right here.
I have reports. We have different agendas. Excuses.
We just want you to be in the dark.
Well, I'm typically in the dark.
I don't know if that's any different.
Yeah, this is right. This is. Huh. Okay.
You okay?
No, I'm good. I saw, and I've seen it in the packet, and I thought, God, I can't see that.
Yep, it'll have your report from there.
I was questioning my sanity for the second or third time today. Okay, where we,
Okay, we're down to reports now.
yeah.
We got the, treasurer's cash on hand, 6/30/22, and we got the Veterans Affairs monthly report, October 2025. These will be on file in the auditor's office for reviewing at your own discretion. Now we have the minutes for the regular meeting on October 28th, 2025.
Motion to approve minutes. Second.
Sarah?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Or wait for that.
Okay, is there any other business?
I have none.
Future agenda items?
I think we'll probably find out later this week whether that, wind ordinance will be, solar and battery ordinance will be ready to for next week, but, that's all I have.
Okay.
Also just a reminder that next week we are not here Tuesday, so our meeting will be Wednesday.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. Committee reports? I had none.
Jim? Now this time I can speak?
No.
No,
We're almost there.
we're still with our meeting.
I'm sorry?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. Would you notify, I don't hear very good, if you could tell me, I would appreciate it.
You don't-
I have none.
What's that?
Committee report?
I had Quad County DCAT board, and, nothing really super exciting except for they got some program called Mission to Mars, and, it's really going over well with the kids. They're making Mars rovers and Mars shoes, and they're bouncing off the walls, but some kid said, "This is the best time I've ever had," and so it's going over pretty well. It's just good to see some of the programs in effect and really work, and the kids are really enjoying their mission trip to Mars. So.
Okay, now it's time for public input. Anybody from public wants to have any input, call 319-753-8203 extension 4 or email board@dmcounty.com. Meanwhile, anybody in the audience have anything to say?
Now.
Yeah.
Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
I would like to address Charles Tonkinson,
Thank
South Yaga. I'd like to address the letter that you supervisors got. Starts off with AES Clean Energy, misnomer right off the bat.
Could you tell us
Whole plants
who we got
down.
the letter from?
Huh?
Who we got the letter, who sent the letter?
You got the letter. Yes, I'd like to address some of the things that are in the letter.
Okay.
Just one thing in particular, and I'm highly offended, and I'm sure our own conservation boards is highly offended by their third paragraph. The conservation board setback would completely block all wind development in the county. What, are we only 6 miles wide, the county? That's a slap in the face to our own people.
What did it
And they
say?
want to get fish and game involved, and let's get the Iowa DNR. Here's people that know. I'm sorry,
I just didn't catch that first part. What'd you say?
the clean energy.
What was that first part that you read?
I said, do you know how many coal plants AES owns? How many fossil fuel plants? How many natural gas plants they own worldwide? And they're coming under AES Clean Energy. I don't think that works so good for me. And then a slap in our face to our own conservation board. I'm highly offended at that. And then they go on to foster innovation, stability, responsible growth, and at what cost? Probably at the cost of killing all of our bats, endangered species bats. And if I was going to invent a machine that would kill bats, I'd invent a windmill. I've testified here before that my only experience that I got behind the wake of an airplane and almost got flipped upside down. This has happened from the wake of a wingtip. So I got some things from Aeronautical College to follow along with me here. I maybe have one. Let's see, this is what, yeah. And don't forget Tom. It kind of explains what we're dealing with.
Thank you, Charlie.
Yeah. Let's start off with page 1. Oh, and Brian.
Give me to hand some stuff out.
I have just a few for other people to follow along with me. What I want to get across here, because we're talking endangered species, and once they're gone, they're gone. Anyway, it starts off on the first page. Where am I going? I don't want to tune you. I guess I can get over here. Oh, she'll help. Okay.
Charlie, we're gonna have to move it on because the 2 minutes
Okay.
been up
Here
4
we
minutes
go.
ago.
And the vortices on the first page, the middle of the paragraph. The vortices that come off of these wingtips in aeronautical engineering is called horizontal tornadoes. And they contain a high rotational induced flow velocities. And it's right near the centers. And it's not like they just go away. Like I told you before, I was 1 minute behind these things. They're invisible. They're invisible to me. They're invisible to birds. They're invisible to bats at the high speed that they're talking about. I explained it 2 weeks ago, quite clearly, I hope. And these are just invisibles. And birds fly along and all of a sudden they're upside down. They can break their wings. Geese, ducks, butterflies. It goes on and on. Anything that flies is gonna get whacked by these. And like I say, the most prevalent, this is from the FFA, were that for smaller airplanes, which cause them to roll inverted, and in some cases, awake encounters. That's also in there. I'm gonna try to get it short. The last is a picture that you never see. You can see the vortices here of these airplanes coming off. And that's what's gonna kill our bats, and that's gonna eliminate our bats, and I think that we should stake with our own people right here, our own conservation department, with their suggestions.
Okay, anybody else have anything to say before we close? With an eye, we're out of here. Aye. We're gonna take a break and then we're gonna come back for a work session with the county attorney
even more complicated.
Okay, we're here for work session with county attorney on correspondence. We're gonna turn that over to you, Trent.
Okay, so the other day we were talking about correspondence and kind of, what gets read, what doesn't get read, what decisions are made, do we publish things, do we not, and if so, how do we go about it, right? So one of the concerns we had is, kind of the First Amendment concern of if we start reading things, everything that comes in, are we then creating a public forum? And then if we're reading some things and not others, are we starting to become content, are we then really making content decisions on a public forum? And I think and part of our thought process is some of the research we did on the Facebook page. So normally when you get into the context of public forum, they're talking about historical public forum. So things like parks, streets, places where people would come together to give speech, or say the example that was used in law school, which I like because it was the one in the state fair. If you go to the state fair, they have a soapbox that people can sign up on, and they can get on that box and they can give a speech for however many minutes they get, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, I don't know. But it is what it is. You put your name on the list, you get to go, you're at the state fair, you get to talk about whatever you want for whatever period of time, right? Well, in this kind of lexicon, they give public forums a couple different levels, but they're always generally public places. And I think when we talk about Facebook, although that's not a physical place, it kind of is, right? So I think when we're talking about what we have on the agenda as correspondence and what you guys choose to read off doesn't fit that criteria, right? Ultimately, you guys can decide to read something, decide not to read something as an individual representative, just as what you want to say. Now, the question is, do we take all of the correspondence that we receive? I think that was brought up at some point. All of the correspondence that we receive and make that readily available all the time and publish that, say, weekly. The problem with that, and you guys can do that if that's what you want, but the problem with that is we have to then go through everything that we release and look at it for, PPI, anything that would be considered confidential, and scrub every piece of correspondence before it was published. So just like we got a open records request a couple weeks ago on this windmill thing, and so we put together a list of queries. So just on one subject, over the course of do you remember how many months that is, Brandon?
From July to July.
4 or 5 months.
So for 4 or 5 months, one subject, Brandon did the query, and there was 2,022 emails. So you estimated 24 hours worth of work to pull those up, get it put into a PDF form so that it can be downloaded. And that's not counting our office's review. So my point is that if we wanted to put everything out for the public, say every email that you guys got, we run into the problem of we have to go through and review all of that. So it's my suggestion that when we put correspondence down, I mean, one, you guys, it's your prerogative
Sorry about that. Supposed to be on silent.
It's your guys' prerogative to use whatever you want to talk about the topic that's on the agenda, right? So say if we look at today's agenda, okay, and we have, so C, 2556, the Airport Zoning Commission, if you had correspondence that you wanted to read directly pertaining to, airport correspondence, that's your guys' choice, right? You guys can do that. And you can choose not to read something as individual representatives. But if we make a public forum, then we can't be content. Then if we say we're gonna let people put their stuff here, then we have to let everybody put their stuff here, right? So I would suggest for correspondence, as a policy, we have that be interagency, intergovernmental correspondence. And the benefit of that is, say if we're getting information from the plant or the city of Burlington or anything like that, they already have the same restrictions on what they put forward that we have. So it's up to you guys, and it is best practice, I would think, if you're receiving correspondence on something that's on the agenda and it's being considered, that you guys bring it forward, but technically, they don't have to. I mean, you probably would want to, but I can't say as a legal construct that you have to. Right?
Would we have to say, hey, I received some correspondence, some for, some against? Would we have to say that at least, or no?
I think that would be a best practice. I do. But it's up to you guys if you want to put together as a board hey, this is what we're gonna handle. One of the things, like I said, when I interned at the Senate, was that's what they would do. They would do a tally and they would say, hey, we received this many pieces of correspondence, so many yay, so many nay, and that was it, right? And was it a long, drawn out thing, or was it a quick call? Hey, I'm against this. I'm for this House File 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm against it. You didn't know the specifics. So that's something you guys can consider. It's something each one of you individually can consider doing. It's something you guys can consider doing as a board as a whole. But we can't use correspondence. Like, correspondence can't be used to compel either of the three of you to compel your speech. You see what I'm saying? Yet at the same time, if we're putting something out there as general public forum, then we can't say this topic's good, this topic's bad. We can't have viewpoint discrimination in that regard.
I've been here the longest. What I've used for the rule is anything like you said you get from the plant or somebody else that said there's going to be an installation of a new line or something like that. It's public information. That would be correspondence.
Mm-hmm.
I would read that into correspondence unless it was highly technical, like the plant everyone. That's about 3 or 4 pages of what they're doing with some particular process. I would say this is what it is, and that it would be on file at the auditor's office if anybody actually wants to go in and read that. I would read letters, if it's just sort of a general county thank you, like you'll have somebody that might have retired wants to thank all the department heads or something like that, or somebody that says, my road's taken very good care of, I appreciate it, thank the county engineer, or the auditor, the recorder, attorney, whatever. Read those. I didn't read letters that were just me unless, if it was somebody that said, I remember one that said, please discuss this subject. I don't remember what the subject was. I don't even remember if it was on the agenda at that time, and I did without using the person's name. But, and I turned one down by an ex-employee of the county once that wanted to write a letter saying which individuals in which offices were terrible people. And chose not to go there. But, so yeah, what you're saying makes sense to me. Is that something you could write down?
Well,
I think first we have to decide, do you even wanna leave correspondence on the agenda?
right,
You don't even have to do correspondence on the agenda. So if there's a letter from the plant or something, or the Army Corps of Engineers, you could put that under separate other business or that sort of thing and leave correspondence just out. Like you just gave an example where I read the good stuff, but I choose not to read the bad stuff, that's a problem. Because now you're saying as long as I write good stuff to the board, they'll read it. If I write bad stuff to the board, they won't. And that's where you get the issue. So I think what Trent's saying is, do we wanna treat do we wanna even leave correspondence on the agenda at all? Or you guys just don't read it and we treat it differently somehow? When it is stuff of intergovernmental nature, that is really more being put out there for informational purposes, which I think historically is how you guys have treated correspondence, versus a public forum when they wanna thank you, well, that's great, forward that email to Brian Carter, because he's the one who always gets the kudos for everything. But if it's also a complaint, forward that to the county attorney's offices, who gets all the complaints about everybody.
So go to Trent, right?
Yeah, that's where they get forwarded to. But I think, if you start to part and parcel out the correspondence that you're reading based on whether it's good or bad, or it might be offending, so that's when you start treating it almost as like a public forum.
So what?
And we obviously can't read every piece of correspondence, or this meeting would go on till 4 o'clock in the afternoon sometimes.
I like that idea about just taking it off the agenda.
Yeah, and when you have an intergovernmental correspondence that truly needs to be read, just put it as its own separate agenda item.
Yep.
Or put it under other business. Then you don't run into the situations like we had last week where you indicated you'd received correspondence, but somebody was demanding that it be read.
Now, what if we received correspondence through email and they requested? Aren't we obligated to read it then if they request that it goes in?
No.
Okay.
We don't have correspondence.
We don't have correspondence if we eliminated it.
Yep, I like that idea of eliminating it off the agenda.
I do too, that makes, rather than, like you said, choosing what to read.
Yeah, that way you're not worried about treating it as a public forum and having, and not that you would make it content-based, but the perception that it would be.
And there's occasions when you do, like I said, I'm not gonna name names in the,
Somebody says something really, really nasty about, Chris. And you don't think it's fun. But you don't think that you just think, okay, it's just one guy had a bad experience, there's no need to put him on the hot seat for that.
Yeah.
I choose not to read it. Well, that person could say, wait a minute, you read the correspondence that was, extolling Brian's virtues last week, but I wanna rip on Chris Lee, why aren't you reading that one? And so then they can make the complaint that you are making it content-based. And as public officials in a public setting, we cannot do that.
I agree.
That's why when we did Facebook pages a long time ago, we said if you're gonna have one, don't have public comment. Because, and if you do have public comment, good, bad, ugly, all gets to go on there. And that's why, so I think the easiest way would just be do away with correspondence. And then if somebody truly wants to know what correspondence you're receiving, we've seen an example, they can request freedom of or a public information request, and we go through the steps and we do it that way. But I think. it
And
just maybe
we
avoids a
still
lot.
have public comments, so I mean, it's not like we're taking that.
Yeah, you'd still have public comment, and if somebody wanted to say, well, I'm gonna read to you what.
Somebody wants to show up and talk about Chris and Brian, they can do that.
Yeah, they can do that.
Yeah, we'll have a work session on it.
Or much like Mr. Allison did last week, where, you had made the decision not to read it, he's there, no, I'm gonna read it. And, you're not reading it as part of the agenda, I'm gonna read to you what I sent everyone. You can use public input for that. And everyone needs, but I think another important lesson is everyone needs to know, for those who are sending, emails that say nasty things about people, those are subject to the Freedom of Information Act, or Public Information Act, is what we call it. And so that's something for them to always be thinking about. Don't say anything in that email that you would not want the general public to know, or to hear, or to read, because those could ultimately become a public information request, and they're out there anyway.
And if you get a letter, Shane, so say if you get a letter from a constituent that's like, hey, I wanna talk about, underwater basket weaving, I don't know, I mean, I wanna talk about a subject, then you can have that if you guys decide to put it on the agenda, it can be put on the agenda. And the benefit of that then is the public knows and they have notice that, hey, they're gonna be talking about underwater basket weaving. I love underwater basket weaving, or no, I think the baskets made underwater are wet and I want dry baskets, right? So,
I like that analogy.
yeah, good.
That was very good, Trent.
Well, I like the idea of taking the agenda off, taking it off the agenda.
So do I.
I think it's the cleanest way.
It's the cleanest way to do it, so that's what we'll do.
Let me ask a question. Is that a change, is that something that the board has to vote on, or is this just informal, how with the agenda?
It's administrative, it's up to Jim, he's the chair of the board.
I mean, he can just decide.
You control the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as there's, obviously, on the next agenda, there's no correspondence.
Yeah.
And another thing, as far as correspondence on a particular topic, so for instance, when you're doing work sessions. So say you're doing a work session on underwater basket weaving, kind of phrase I've heard since the 80s, when that's what we all thought college athletes took courses, so they could pass. It's Trent and I showing our age, clearly. And if that's something maybe you would bring up in a work session where you're all discussing it amongst yourself. That, well, hey, I got this letter about, this guy who researches underwater basket weaving, and then you could, but that's part of the work session, and that's very, very different than being part of the formal meeting and being on the agenda.
I think that I like the thought that it's not a public forum, and if we turn it into one, it has to be a public forum.
I'm fine
I
with
don't
it.
think.
Tom and I's fine with it, we'll leave no further.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bark about it.
Okay, that's what we'll do then, thanks, Lisa.
Yep.
Appreciate that, thanks, Trent.
Yeah, Trent and I spent a lot of time talking about
Yeah.
correspondence.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we still got, that work station's over with, we've got another work station.
Hold on. You going straight into it?
What's
Are
that?
you gonna go straight into it?
Oh, we can,
Let me pause this one and restart again.
Close the work session.
Thanks, thinking.
close the work station. Tom? Second.
We don't need a
You don't have
second.
to go. Okay,
Motion
you're good to
close
go
the
now.
work session.
You're good to
Just
go.
say we're done.
Okay, we're here for work station with the county supervisors and the county attorney on the sale of the 1804 Douglas Avenue.
Okay.
That should be you again, Trent.
All right, so we're back. So with the 1804 Douglas Avenue, so we have essentially 4 parcels there. So you have the actual Can Redemption Center.
Thanks, Tracy.
And then there's 3 building lots next to it. So that's parcel 10, 25, 431, 14, 13, and 12. So we've given them we've changed the lease to month, with the thought that, hey, we're gonna probably wanna end up selling some of these. We've terminated the lease, as these particular parcels. And Sarah, I think, are they insured now?
Yes, I have not received, I got one email back from her, but she's working on another one to get me like the proof and stuff. But
Okay.
yes,
So we've had these parcels added to our insurance. I think, do we have the keys? Is Rodney in here?
yes, we do.
Yes, we have keys.
So we have the keys to the building.
I think Rodney's winterized the building, haven't you? You shut off the, okay.
You put a cap on the sewer system where they pull the stool?
Yeah. So now the question is, do we wanna sell it? I think the answer is yes. And if the answer is yes, what process do we wanna use? We wanna do an online auction, live auction, realtor, closed bid like we did for the other, I mean, the options are totally available.
I've had thought on that. I'd rather have a realtor do it myself, but I don't know where you guys are at on that.
That's, I don't have a problem with that. We just like, get rid of it, so it's back on the tax rolls again. And we told, since that property was all purchased with donations to Hope Haven, there were, money that was donated for the purpose of providing, mental or disability services to Des Moines County, that we give the proceeds to Hope Haven, or Imagine the Possibilities now. And with some assurance, after they've given us assurance, that it will be spent in Des Moines County for that purpose. So, I don't think there's any rush. Yeah, the order's fine with me.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so.
We got more people that realtor make contact with and let people read our website for the newspaper for it, so.
Well, it's not as,
Yeah.
public or obvious, a property as a public health building, was there's a handful of people that know where the old redemption center, or the whatever you call it.
Well, and especially with those three building lots, that's something that,
Yeah.
I mean, a realtor would routinely sell, I would think.
Yep.
So with that, then we probably wanna do a bid for services and maybe do you wanna give me a week to come up with what the plan is going forward, if that's
Yeah.
that, you know?
Let's do that.
Like Tom said, just no big hurry, just so we.
Okay. So yeah, I will look into what the process is. And then we can go from there. Okay?
Yep.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds good.
Yep. That's it?
I almost don't know what to do.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Too cold to go golfing.
It is definitely too cold to go